When your world changes with a diagnosis, one local organization works hard to relieve the stress. The Duluth-based Northern Lights Foundation is getting ready to host its annual Children's Charity Gala. Northern News Now's Taryn Simmons sat down and spoke to a woman who says this group brought light in a dark moment.
Granting wishes and addressing the needs of Northland children and their families. That's the motto of the Northern Lights Foundation. The Duluth organization helps families whose children are facing life-threatening diseases. Families like Tara Alishire. Her daughter Amelia needed brain surgery less than 3 weeks after she was born. Tara wasn't even sure if insurance was going to cover such a procedure.
She's trying to open her eyes.
And there's some misleading understandings, like people think that, oh, well, you have insurance, you know, that should cover, but depending on how that's structured, you could have a massive out-of-pocket expense, never assuming that tragedy is gonna hit or like something catastrophic would happen.
Looking back, Tara remembers the entire event being mentally exhausting for her family.
It felt very empty because we were just at a place where we felt basically homeless, and we just felt like the whole experience caught us off guard. So mentally, it was exhausting. Financially, it was exhausting. The whole thing.
With the support of the Northern Lights Foundation, it's brought a new sense of balance and support for their family. That same balance and support is why Zach Schneider chose to become a part of Northern Lights Foundation.
It's just not only an emotionally taxing time, but also financially taxing on those families as well, who weren't planning to be in and out of the hospital, be traveling a lot, be doing this or that for their children. And so the more the Northern Lights can be involved and be active in supporting those families, the better.
Tara's daughter Amelia is now a happy 4-year-old. Because of their support, Tara has become an active member of the Northern Lights Foundation, hoping to help other families like hers.
We are just going to continue to be huge supporters of the Northern Lights, saying whatever we can to whoever we can. Just know that there needs to be this huge level of compassion for families that are going through these hard times, because it can be devastating.
Giving families the happy ending they all dream of.
I made a mess.
I'm Taryn Simmons, Northern News Now.
So good to see that smile in her face. Taryn, thank you. If you'd still like to support the Northern Lights Foundation, we have a link right now to donate on our website at northernnewsnow.com.